If Shaq were to come to China, Steph, and just kind of walk around, what kind of reception do you think he'd be getting?
Come on now, you know what it is. It's like when the ship lands.
I thought I was the man. I had a little statue, but my statue's in another part of town. I'm riding one day, I'm like, yo, I didn't know I had a statue there. They're like, no, that's Stephon Marbury statue. This man got a 100-foot statue there.
100 foot? I know he's got two. One of them's 100 foot.
Shaq, what year was it when you got your first statue?
I'm not even sure. Crazy thing is, I didn't even ask for that. Like, I'm over there just, doing my humanitarian thing. They said, we have a surprise for you. And then I went, oh, sorry about the accent. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I do it big, big, big. I'm coming to win. I do it big, big, big. Say it again. I do it big, big, big. I'm coming to win. I do it big, big, big. Say it again. I do it big. I do it big, big, big. Say it again. I do it big.
As you know from watching the Big Podcast, I like to partner with smart people who love to win. And to even make it better, I partner with DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings app now and sign up by using my promo code BIGPOD. The crown is yours. The NBA season might be over, but the WNBA season is in full swing and has never been hotter. Who's your favorite team? Who do you want to follow along with? There's simply no better time than now to get in on the action and follow along with your favorite team. That's right. New customers can bet just $5 on anything and receive $150 in bonus bets instantly. Stay in on the action. Use your $150 in bonus bets on DraftKings same game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same game. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, do not worry about it. DraftKings is a one-stop shop for all things daily fantasy where you can join in on all the fun and have the shot to win big cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use my promo code BIGPOD and bet just $5 on any wager and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code BIGPOD, BIGPOD, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, baby.
What is up? What is good? How you living? How you feeling? How you doing? Welcome to another episode of the Big Podcast with Shaq, where we always do it
big.
Bang! There was a second delay, but he's there. Sponsored by our good friends at DraftKings, where we do some of the odds. And we teach you the odds and all that. And so our question today from DraftKings is, which conference is the favorite to win the NBA title next year? So you get all the teams from the East or all the teams from the West. Which conference do you believe is the favorite to win it all next year?
And what's the odds on that?
Well, no, you have to guess what the odds are going to be. So you guess, and then I'll tell you the odds.
I'm going to go Western.
The West is plus 100.
So
which
means
you bet 100, you win a... Oh, sorry. Go.
Well, I know what it means now.
Okay.
Plus 100 would mean I bet 100, win 100. Okay.
Yeah, so this one's tough.
All right, but hold on. Could it be minus 100?
So the East is minus 120.
So that means if I can explain it.
Minus 120 means you have to bet 120 to win 100.
Oh, Adam, I'm glad I'm going to be a DraftKings expert because of you. I never knew what all that stuff meant.
And that means that the Eastern Conference is actually the favorite because you have to bet more money. Now, if you bet 100, I think it'll be something like you win 80.
Okay.
But the Eastern Conference, because Boston is the favorite, they're the favorites to win it all. Do you agree with that?
I actually do. I never understood it, but I do agree with it. I know people like Boston in the East, but I'm thinking Denver is going to make some noise.
So you would actually bet on the West?
Yes, I'm going to bet on the West because Denver, Phoenix, A lot of teams, and then you got the all hype teams.
Yep.
Minnesota,
As
New
someone that
Orleans.
has repeated and three-peated, when you look at this Boston team, do you see a team that
No.
might be poised to repeat?
No, because even though they have the championship, see, I would like to see, and the reason why I said the other day was a boring finals, and it really was, because when Boston won, they had to go through all the tough teams. Okay, you don't beat all the teams in your conference, but now you face the mightiest of the other conference. Boston had it easy. It's not their fault. Not their fault. I don't care. They won. However, I would have liked to see them.
New York was banged up.
Yeah, New York was banged up. So, but they won it. They won it square, but there's still a lot of doubters.
So
Now,
your reasoning is Boston's still very talented, but their road will likely not be as easy next year.
their road was too easy. So when their road stiffens up and they don't win, then we could then that statement will be verified. Now, if they win next year with all these teams healthy, got to give them their respect. But you know how us haters and us commentators do. Okay, you got one, win two. Win two. So if you want to impress me, I'm impressed by this year, but this year's already over. So if you want to impress me, so if you want to separate yourself as the best, the most successful franchise, beat those teams when they're healthy.
We have Shaq now. We have an awesome guest coming up in a second. Shaq, you came with some stylish glasses. I'm very impressed by them. Are you ready to hear my intro for our guest?
Yes, let's do it.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is time for me to do the intro for our guest. And so, with the guest's permission, I'm going to give it the movie theater voice. Is that okay, guest?
All good, baby.
Okay. This man was the king of New York, the president of Lincoln. Any guard that stepped in his path faced quick and utter extinction. The middle part, the spinning dimes, the definition of next. This man went to China and left the earthlings perplexed. Few years later, 3 titles, 2 statues, and suddenly the haters don't know where their doubts are buried. Let's get our hands together on the big pod for Stephon Marbury. Let's go!
What's goody, baby?
Shaquille O'Neal is ripping down the Atlanta highway right now at about 120 miles an hour in a Hellcat.
What's up, Shaq? Can you get a bigger car? No way. That's your car? No, dude, no way. That's insane. I can't. Quick. This your car?
Yeah, I gotta go.
How do you drive? Look at that.
I gotta go, man. Bye. I'll talk to you later.
This is the kind of car you drive in your. That's insane. Wow.
He is going to be joining this conversation in it. But you, Mr. Stephon Marbury, are joining us from China at 2:30 in the morning. And I just want to say a very heartfelt thank you. And also, what is life in China like right now? Because everyone over here is fascinated at this second life that you've begun living, and it's beautiful.
China's been amazing, man. It's been a great experience. Having the opportunity to go abroad to do something completely different from what we're normally used to seeing professional athletes do. Having that opportunity to be able to do that has been it's been super rewarding, and I'm deeply humbled that God gave me the opportunity to be able to live in this light, to be able um, to experience all of what I've been able to experience, to be able to share, to be able to have this conversation, to talk with you guys about China. You know what I'm saying? Who would ever have thought that these type of conversations would be taking place in the now?
All right, Stephon, we have the big break question from the general, because, of course, where there's Shaq, there's the general. What was the breakout moment in China when you realized you were the man there? What was the moment where you went, damn, I am him in this country?
You know what? I never felt like I was him. I always felt like there's more. And I think the after we won my third championship, when they built a museum on the main road of Beijing, which is the most expensive road on the earth, 5 kilometers away from Tiananmen Square, when they did that at the Beijing post office, and when they made that, that's when I was like, this is a little different. They literally started sending people from America to film what was going on. They were like, yo, this is like you're building a shrine. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like you got a cult following going on right now. I'm like, nah, this is all love right here. So, when that happened, that's when I was like, this is a little different.
When he came into the league and he got paired up with KG, because I know that you're someone that loves that perfect combination of big and guard, you and Penny, you and Kobe. What did you think of their connection?
It was scary, very scary. Only time you don't get really scared is because their supporting cast wasn't there yet. I don't want to disrespect them. They were really good players, but they could always make the playoffs, but they weren't there yet. And mine wasn't there yet either. So, but a guy like him that can get open anytime and get his shot, and he got the New York flair, definitely got to worry about. A mean little skinny dude like KG that want to fight everybody and talk and could step out and play the new wave. So they were done. Every time we played, it was a tough matchup. Let me say that. But, we got them because they had Rashad McCants and all those guys sticking me in, but I think if you put them two with 3 or 4 veterans that have been there before, and they definitely win a championship.
What did you think of their swag as someone that?
It's crazy, and then because it was different swags, sort of like me and Penny, Marbury, New York, and to be a guard in New York is tough. You're gonna get Felipe Lopez and all that, but so to make a name in New York is tough. So if you got a name coming out of New York, you can play. And KG was just different because big man, but he started doing stuff that big guys like me wasn't used to. I wasn't used to going out guarding a guy every possession. And then he was mean, and he was from the hood, and he had that dog in him. Very, very difficult team to play. And we got lucky a few times because him and Derek Fisher, he would kill Derek Fisher, and KG would kill our
And you was
fours.
killing our
I would
five.
kill their
Our
fives.
four. And
Kobe was
Kobe's
killing
killing.
their twos, and then but the edge would come like I had a Rick Fox, I had a B. Shaw, guys that's been in 12, 13 years that can
Yes.
do extra stuff. But shit, they were definitely dangerous and scary. This episode of the Big Podcast with Shaq is brought to you by The General. Shaq loves The General. Before the league, before the rings, before I got my big break, I've been rocking with The General. The General has been offering quality coverage for 60 years. You already know The General was there for Shaq when I needed him. Low rates and flexible payment options to keep you covered. If you're ready for your big break, you know what to do. Visit thegeneral.com to get a quote today. Again, visit thegeneral.com to get a quote today. And it wouldn't be the Big Podcast without The General. What time is it? It's game time. Summer is here, which means endless MLB and WNBA games for the next few months. They make getting all the tickets fast and easy. Or maybe you're looking for great seats to see some great artists, Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen, Lil Baby, Public Enemy, LL Cool J, whoever. Game Time has amazing selection and a wide variety of summer concerts that you can score tickets for. One of my favorite features in all-in pricing, you can toggle this feature to see what the total price up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Plus, Game Time has incredible lowest price guarantee. If you find a lower price, they'll credit you 110% of the difference. They even offer ticket coverage with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. This means you can buy with confidence, knowing you're covered no matter what. Just download the Game Time app, Create an account and use code BIGPOD for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account on the Gametime app and redeem the code BIGPOD for $20 off your first purchase. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
Listen, I live in Brooklyn. I took my 6-month-old son last week to Coney Island to go to the aquarium. And so I thought about your journey, and here you are, New York, most diverse place like in the world.
Mm,
And then you go to Georgia Tech, which is predominantly African American, predominantly black. Then you go to Minnesota,
mm.
where it's like all white people. And then you're in China, where you're like the fewest of the few. And as I thought about that, I feel like you have a really unique perspective on interacting with human beings.
Mm,
I feel like you've seen everything. You've seen adoration. You've seen people cast aspersions on your name. You've been a majority. You've been a minority. What do you think you've learned just about humans over
growth,
this journey?
man, growth. People are so unpredictable from the good and the bad. Instinctively, people tend to grasp towards what's actually being told as a whole, opposed of thinking for themselves. And I think for me, my journey, I went for, as you said, I went from New York, where it's basically a melting pot culturally. You got black, white, Chinese, Puerto Rican, you got all different races that come from out of New York. And then to go to Atlanta, where it's predominantly black, but still white people there as well, um, was, normal because I was used to that vibe. I was used to being, interacting with a bunch of black people at once, but not as many, going into Atlanta where it's like, yo, it's really down south. And then go to Minnesota where it's predominantly white, 6% white people. That was a big culture shock moment for me because all of those different things happened in a short period of time, and me leaving New York, going to Atlanta, and then staying in school for only like 4 or 5 months, and then going into the NBA, going into Minnesota. So, that was a big challenge. It was a super big thing for me because I wasn't used to it. It was something that was completely different from the norm of how I lived my life. So yes, it was definitely a culture shock moment. Not saying the people were great, people were amazing, the fans were great, but just going from one environment to another environment within a 4 month frame, 4 to 5 month frame, it was a big challenge.
I it's crazy to me that you and KG were the same class of high school,
Mm,
and then during the draft you get traded for Ray Allen, you go to Minnesota,
mm,
and then you team up with him. KG is somebody that you really need to prove to him, when just on a human level,
mm.
that he should respect you for that equal respect. And I was curious, was it like that between you two from the jump? Were you guys always in sync? Because I feel like if you are not in line with KG, he will you to the end of your
That's
time. When you
gas.
look back at that dynamic, it seems like this awesome buddy cop duo.
Amazing.
But what do you look back and remember the most about it?
I would just go with what my mom said. She said, Stephon, ain't nobody, you and Kevin, y'all had the best chemistry. Nobody, had better chemistry than you guys on the basketball court. And, playing with Kev, it was like, playing with my mind on the court. Like he knew what I wanted to do and I knew what he wanted to do. He knew when to throw me the basketball, I knew when to throw him the basketball. I knew when he wanted to go, he knew when I was going. It was just we just knew. We just had that vibe. We had that chemistry on the court where, when you're playing, you don't have to think. You know what I'm saying? You could just throw the basketball and it's like, when you throw the basketball to a wide receiver, you know he's gonna be there because that's the route. You know what I'm saying? On the court, we just knew what to do on the court. It didn't, and it was right away. It clicked right away. It wasn't like it took time. It was already automatic.
One of my favorite advertisers that you work with is Carnival Cruise Lines, and I have a perfect itinerary that I've planned, and I want to run it by you. But first, I'm curious, what was your most memorable Caribbean vacation? I know you're a man that loves the Caribbean. Was there one that stands out the most?
You know what's crazy about the Carnival Cruise Lines? I'm on it all the time, and people don't even see me.
What? Do you hide in the smokestack?
No, first of all, I can't hide.
Okay.
So I'm the master of being invisible. For example, if you live in a town that's busy, you don't go outside when it's
Not busy.
no. If you live in a town that's super
Oh.
busy, don't go outside when it's
Nice out.
no busy.
Busy.
Crazy.
Oh, busy. Okay, yeah.
So my point is, I don't sneak on because I can't. I walk on, and I stay in my room. I watch movies, and then around 11 to 12, where everybody's asleep, I'll walk around, go eat. I go play some ball. I'll stay out a couple hours. Go to my room at 2. Wake up at 6. I'm at my destination in Miami, and I live in the Bahamas. So people don't. I probably only got caught twice being on the ship, but I'm on the ship all the time.
So everyone out there, if you take Carnival Cruise Lines, there is a
From
chance.
Miami to Bahamas.
There is a
From
chance
Miami to Bahamas,
that
the
Shaquille
3-day
O'Neal
cruise.
will be walking around at weird times. I like that. Okay, so
And I always got one of these in my hand too,
look
baby.
at that. A little Carnival Yeti.
For my cool, refreshing drinks.
So if I planned out the perfect Carnival Cruise vacation itinerary, first, from what I saw, I want to start my fun on Bolt, the world's first roller coaster at sea. Have you been on this roller coaster?
I cannot fit on the roller coaster, but I've seen it. I've seen it at the beginning. I've seen people ride it. It's very enjoyable. I wish I could ride on a roller coaster, but weight, gravity, wouldn't want to do it.
Never been on one in your whole life?
No, of course I've been on, but like I'd say, like once I hit that 300-pound mark, which was like 3rd, 4th year, I had to stop riding.
So after that, I would go paddle boarding through the crystal clear waters of Half Moon Key, get a little bit of arm workout in. Then I'd jump off of a catamaran, and I'm going to snorkel through the clear waters in Turks and Caicos, Shaq. That sounds pretty good. Ooh, he's got the glasses so he can see through the water. After all that, Shaq, I'm going to get my sandwich fix at the Big Chicken restaurant on board. You have Big Chicken on the Carnival Cruise Line?
I will have Big Chicken, but I'm not going to be selfish. There's a lot of great restaurants on there. Choose anyone. Choose fun. Make sure you choose Carnival, baby.
And then afterwards, I'm going to go get some laughs at Punchline or Comedy Club. I didn't realize there was a comedy club on the Carnival Cruise Lines. With endless options to choose from, no one does fun like Carnival.
As Carnival CFO, that's short for Chief Fun Officer, it's my job to ensure everyone has an unforgettable vacation experience on their Carnival cruise. All you got to do is enjoy all types of fun on ship, from twists and turns on boat, the world's first roller coaster at sea, the moments of blissful relaxation at Cloud9 Spa. Venture off ship and explore ancient Mayan ruins, or just kick back and do nothing at all on the pristine white sand Caribbean beaches. Take an ATV ride through the jungle or dive into the crystal clear waters of Carnival's new exclusive destination, Celebration Key, welcoming guests in the summer of 2025. Finally, kick off the evening with a craft cocktail at any one of Carnival's dazzling bars and lounges. And take your pick among the delectable restaurants on board, like Emerald's Bistro or Shaq's Big Chicken. Then settle in for an evening of live entertainment at Punchline or Comedy Club, or taking a show. Simple as that. You've just created unforgettable vacation memories. Because no one does fun like Carnival. Visit carnival.com and pack for your next cruise. Ship's registry, the Bahamas, Panama.
After spending, 13 years in the NBA, learning about Earthlings, as you said, learning about different people, learning about how people operate and how they think, how they feel, how they move, the intellect within inside of humans, learning about how people formulate their thoughts, about their opinions that they have from what they saw, like learning about how people, made these evaluations and calculated, so calculated, and then going to China, big whirlwind. Big whirlwind because now it's like, okay, from you went from New York to Atlanta, Atlanta to Minnesota. Now you're going someplace where they don't speak the same language as you. So how about that, buddy? Let's see you figure that one out. And I think for me, coming to China was more of like at that time, me having the opportunity to be able to find myself, learn about myself, grow within myself. And in that process, when I came to China, um, I literally was like, I just want to play basketball because I was at that point because I was in such a disarray of so many different moving pieces with the Knicks and going to Boston, not being able to perform the way how I wanted to perform, and then not playing for a while, and then now I'm getting the opportunity to play. So when I got here, I was super depressed. I was basically, you know, in a space where I didn't want to play basketball. A lot of things weren't going in the way how I had wanted. So I was like, man, I'm getting this opportunity to go play basketball in China, and here I am, you know, amongst people who I can't communicate with, but they showing me mad love. You know what I'm saying? From the moment that I landed, the moment that I got to China, it was nothing but love, and it's been that way ever since.
Mm. It's I remember that entire movement. I remember everything on Ustream. I read an article in like the New York Times from those years ago when you went on Ustream, and they literally documented everything you said. That it was like he said he liked Bugs Bunny more than whatever. And now everybody is going live all the time, but we had never seen an athlete going live.
Mm,
And I remember, was it like Ustream.tv?
mm.
And
First,
I just felt like you did so
It
many.
started out with Justin TV first, which is Twitch
Oh my
now,
gosh.
and then I went to Ustream, and I went to Ustream because the dude Justin, he didn't want to play ball with me, and I was like, all right, well, I'll go on another platform. That's funny though.
Unbelievable.
Really.
I mean, yeah, you were figuring out platforms before people even knew they existed. And
Mm,
now it's a $1 billion industry.
trillion.
I got a sore throat, right? So my man, my little brother Hassan, he told me that his grandmother, who's almost 100 years old, told him when you can't get your voice back, take some Vaseline and swallow it, and it'll help you.
During that time when it first started popping, I was like, yo, it's like 3 million people watching me sleep at one time. This is really gonna evolve and it's gonna
Right. And
elevate.
people were like, Stephon Marbury is losing his mind. He's
Yeah.
letting people watch him sleep. And now it's like, come
Yeah.
and watch Kai Cenat and Kevin Hart sleep
Exactly.
with 10 billion people.
Exactly. But at that time, I was talking to my friends and I was like, I'm not doing anything that other people won't do. This will be part of everyone's lives eventually, and as we see it now, but not everyone was clairvoyant enough to actually go into that space to actually feel or think that way during that time frame of when all of what was going on. But the people who were creating the platforms, like, it's one guy that really is doing this stuff. And nobody could actually tell me what to do because it wasn't like I was trying to utilize it in a way to basically monetize and, you know,
Right. Yeah,
build
you were
off
just
of it.
doing it.
I was just doing it because it was a platform where I can control my own narrative and I could speak my own truth about what was actually going on. So that's why I was
Mhm.
crazy. I was crazy because I was eating Vaseline. I said, dude, your mom smoked and your pops stick You talking about me eating Vaseline? I was like, nah. So, doing so I was like, yeah, if you think that I'm crazy because I'm crying because I'm listening to a gospel song and my dad just passed away. I was like, okay,
Mm,
so I'm crazy for that. I was like, you got guys crying because they lost the championship in the game, in the basketball game,
mm,
but you say that I'm crazy? I'm like, okay. So, I think during that time, I felt like during that time, people didn't know when I actually was going crazy. When I was going crazy, when I was laying in my bed and I couldn't get out of my bed and depressed and stuck because I had just lost, my coach 1 week, my aunt the second week, and then my pops the third week. So I lost the
mm,
person that taught all my brothers how to play basketball and myself, my aunt, then my pops. So at that time, basketball wasn't, it had no relevance in my life as far as how I wanted to live or how I was thinking or anything. I was just like a mute. My kids was like, Dad, you gotta
mm.
you gotta get in the you gotta take a shower at least, Dad. Come on. And I was just like, I'm good, I'm good. I'm not going nowhere. So what's the point? But when you're depressed and during that time I didn't feel or think that way, but I just was sad and I was hurt and I was all of these different things that come with the emotions of losing people that you love. So when I had the opportunity to actually release from all of that, that's when I was like moving through my depression, through all of what I was feeling,
Mm.
through not being in a position to play basketball, not being able to sign another. I was used to signing max contracts. I couldn't even get a contract at this time. So that is, my brand is failing. Like literally, I'm watching it dry up because all of what's going on. So that was the time when I was silent. But when I was on live, I was like, "Oh, you think I'm crazy right now?" I'm like, "Oh, you don't know what crazy is." You know what I'm saying? So I was like in a whole different mind frame and mind space as far as moving forward in my life. And then this came out, and that's how that really
I
started.
I never realized because everything from that live was put out like clips and there's no backstory.
Mm.
And so I honestly didn't know until right now that the reason you were crying is because you lost somebody. And
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting that the story behind Allen Iverson's practice rant is he lost his best friend that day,
Mm.
but we didn't find that out till years later with the documentary. So all we're seeing is two athletes, same draft, 1996. You guys played each other at MSG. Like the storyline through line is crazy,
Classic.
and all we do is take these moments, but we don't look at the backstory of the human behind it. And now, because the conversation has changed so much, and we actually look at the humans and not just the statistics, now we can sit back and go, man, we misread that
Mm.
completely. But you and Iverson, it was so similar
Mm.
around the same time
Mm.
too.
It's interesting because when people formulate their opinion about how they feel and what they think based upon what they were told, there's literally no stopping it until something like this happens. But me, I was the type, I didn't care enough for everybody to know that I was listening to a gospel song and my dad passed away and I was thinking about that. It didn't really matter to me how other people thought or felt about me feeling the way how I felt. Because that's my feeling, that was my moment. And it wasn't where it it distraught me to where I collapsed and I was, you know, about to, I said I wanted to kill myself, but I was like, I'm still here. I didn't do it. I said me feeling like I want to kill myself and me going to kill myself is completely different. So you misread me saying, yeah, I feel like I want to kill myself because that's how I feel. Because I didn't want to deal with what it was that I was dealing with. Mental illness is a real thing. And my mental at the time when I lost the people who I love, that was my feeling with my dad. And then and then when we buried my dad, after we buried my dad, my mom checked into the hospital and she was on her deathbed. And I was just looking at her like, come on, laughing, like, come on, man, there's no way you're about to do this. It's like, it's no way.
Wow.
And the doctor was like, it's not really looking good. And I was like, what? And it was like, this is normal when a spouse loses, when they lose a spouse at this age. This is a normal thing that happens. And my dad and my mom, they were married for over 50 years. So, the ideology and what I grew up, thinking and learning from being in a household where I had my brothers and sisters, I had my mother and father, even though we were in the projects, my mom and my dad never made it feel like that. So we were a really close knit family. And then when the leader went down, it was like you could feel the collapse. You know what I'm saying? And that's when, I started to basically parallel myself with, my family members, and we pushed each other to get through what we were going through because
Hmm.
it was a brand new experience.
And now, 2 decades later, your son is a preferred walk on at Cal Berkeley,
Hmm,
one of the highest institutions in the world,
hmm,
across the country from Coney Island, from coast to coast. Your son is now going to be trying to play basketball with the Cal Golden
hmm.
Bears. That's insane.
It is. It's great. And we talk about it. My son was just here. We were shooting a commercial for one of the milk companies here, and he flew here, and we were talking about his transition into going to school, and he fell into a very peculiar situation with him going, going through COVID, and then he had surgery on his hip, so he literally missed like 2 or 3 years, like about 2.5 years, 3 years, where he wasn't even able to play high school basketball. So I was telling him, I'm like, dude, for you to get this opportunity, one, to be able to go to Cal, one of the most prestigious schools that you could possibly go to as far as academics, for you to get accepted into the school, one, right, for you to get accepted, and then for you to have the opportunity to be able to go play after you not having the time that every other kid had playing high school basketball, getting ready to go to college. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't even imagine only playing 3 years of high school basketball. I was like, man, just basically my freshman year, I missed my sophomore, junior. So it's like for you to get this opportunity, it shows your work ethic. It shows, that you've been positioned, as far as your academics to be able to be placed in a situation where you have the opportunity to go to a school such as Cal. So it's like it's a blessing. It's a blessing, and you have the
Hmm.
opportunity. You don't have any pressure. It's not like you're a kid who got a major scholarship and you're top top recruit, and projections is for you to go top whatever. I'm like, you're not in that situation. I was like, so I told him when he was having it, when he had his surgery, I was like, dude, you're a late bloomer. And I have to tell your son that it's hard, but the reality is if I don't tell you, you won't know because you will think and believe something else. So for him to be able to have this opportunity to go to Cal, we're super thankful. And to be able to witness it and see it and to have played against these guys.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Can you dig
Oh,
it?
And now, standing at 7'1" from Newark, New Jersey, he has a doctorate from 18 different universities.
Oh,
Shaquille
oh,
O'Neal.
oh, you hit him. Big fella, what's good?
so I apologize
Oh,
for being
good.
late. I was doing the camp
Oh,
for
good.
kids. I started taking pictures with the kids, and I didn't want to leave no
Ready.
kids out. So I was like, Kenny called me and Kurt said, you got Stephon on the thing. So thanks for waiting
Nah,
for me.
nah, nah.
Question: we both have the affordable shoe line. I see you're doing the glasses now. Where'd you get your business acumen from? Like you know, it's crazy. Before you answer that, somebody asked me the other day, "Have I met Q-Tip?" And I was thinking about the superstars that I know haven't met. Stephon, I've been knowing you for 20 years. I think I only seen you about 8 times, my brother.
Yo,
No, which is weird. Because, somebody asked me the other day, because, Tribe Called Quest, they about to get in on the thing. He's like, do you know Q-Tip? And I start to think, and I'm like, damn, I only hung out with Fife twice. Those 2 times in the studio. And only met Q-Tip twice. So now that I'm thinking, Stephon, I've only seen you 8 times, and that's
at
at
game, but we
Ames.
we kicked it. We kicked it one time with your man Stutter. In LA, we ate at Mr. Chow one night, and you had the
That's right, we
Sprinter.
did.
Um, you the first one I seen with a Sprinter decked out, actually. But nah, we never really kicked it other than that one time. But I always paid close attention to everything that you've done. Obviously, the whole planet sees that. It's very hard not to see that. But my business acumen, like, for me, I always had to do it from the mud. So when I did all of the things that I've done, trying to scale, you know, like what you did with Walmart with your shoes. I tried to do the same thing. Obviously, mine's didn't do as well, after playing and then not playing and then coming back here, coming to China was part of the next wave, the next part of me bringing my brand back to America, basically learning everything that I needed to learn here in China from sourcing, from production, all of the different things. I learned it. Didn't know none of that before when I first started my brand, but now fully equipped to be a vertical platform, trying my hardest to be like you.
Well, I appreciate that. Somebody told me something very important one day. Everybody eats. And I know they was trying to make it a competition thing, but it's not a competition. It's enough space. Like, you from the hood, I'm from the hood. You got a building, I got a building. We both doing the same thing. That's all that matters. So I was proud of you. And I kind of almost went through what you went through. Like, once I stopped playing, they kind of, think they, forget about you. So I had to, switch some things up and line myself with a bigger company, and I'm still going on. But I need your permission. I would like to help you promote these glasses with the hashtag TMFH. You know what that means?
TMFH.
T-
Hit me with it. Let me
yes.
know.
I'll tell you what it means. I'll tell you what it means. These are hard. These are hard.
You know,
I
you
ain't gonna
play
lie.
your
Look,
music on there. You can
because
talk. I'm
you know,
talking to you on the glasses right now.
you got
Now you
music
could
on here too.
you could
You got the
Bluetooth and then
Bluetooth?
you could play your music and you could talk on your phone on there. I'm talking to you on my phone right now. I'm talking to you on the glasses right now.
You know what?
Wow.
I didn't even know that because when I see you on the gram, I always see you doing this.
That's
You
the
rub me
other
off like,
level.
ain't no way you doing
That's the
this.
other
Not all.
part people don't know.
Sunglasses that change colors.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, America, China, Stephon Marbury, Jonas Real, TMFH. These hard.
If you like them,
When
I know they gotta be hard because I know you. I
These
already know.
hard.
if Shaq were to come to China, Steph, and just kind of walk around, what kind of
Ah,
reception
here
do you think he'd be
it's
getting?
when he do come, it's the Aristotle, baby. Come on now, you know what it is. It's like when the ship land.
What I can say about the Chinese people, very honorable people. Like it's like I've never had a problem over there. Old school, 16th, 17th, 18th century honor.
Facts.
I remember one time I was over there, right? Because I thought I was the man. I had a little statue, but my statue was in another part of town. I'm riding one day. I'm like, yo, I didn't know I had a statue there. They're like, no, that's Stephon Marbury statue. This man got 100-foot statue there.
Yo,
100 foot?
Man has
I know he's got
a
two. One of them's 100 foot.
Shaq, let me
yeah,
ask you
it's big.
something. When you
It's
got
really
when
big.
you got your statue, what year was it when you got your first statue?
I'm not even sure because crazy thing is I didn't even ask for that. Like I'm over there just doing my humanitarian thing. They said we have a surprise for you, and then I went. Oh, sorry
It's
about the
okay. It's
accent.
okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but anyway, like they took me to the ceremony and they unveiled that thing. I was like, I don't believe I have a
Yeah,
statue in China, but Marbury has one too. Like you've had a lot of success over there. I want to say I'm happy
thank you, my
for you,
brother.
brother. I'm
Thank you.
proud of you. And despite all the BS, despite all the BS they put us through, you don't have a championship, you don't have a ring over here, forget all that. You was a great high school player, you was a great college player, you was a great NBA player, and I think you're Hall of Fame worthy. That's coming from the
Whoa,
heart, not just because you're on my
whoa,
podcast.
that's big right
And
there.
then
Aristotle.
and you know, I always thought like that, right? But I never said it. And the reason why I'm gonna start saying it now, because we had AI on our podcast, and you know AI.
Man,
And I asked him because I kind of went viral one day for saying I was scared of Michael Jordan. It's not that I was scared; it was like I couldn't believe I was there. And like 300 days earlier, this dude was on the wall now, so I was kind of nervous. We asked AI, was he nervous at anybody? And without no hesitation, he said you. Is any player like when you first saw him at your position or any position that like when you first arrived in the NBA, it's like, oh my God, there he is.
Stephon Marbury. Stephon was just so strong and powerful and fast. You know what I mean? Like
He was cool
Steph
too.
tried to bully me, man.
And I never knew that. Like I used to watch our
got it.
battle court, but with no hesitation, Hall of Famer, the great AI said, I fear Stephon Marbury. So when he said that, it just solidified what I said to you. So again, I apologize for
That's
being
all
late, my
good.
brother. I'm just so proud of you. I'm happy
Appreciate
for you, China.
everything.
And what part
I'm
of
in
China are you
Beijing.
in? 'Cause you know,
Yeah, I live in Beijing.
okay, so I'll tell you what. Next time I go to
Easy.
Beijing, we gotta hook
Beijing,
up.
Macau. I live. I got Hong Kong ID as well. So I'm in Hong Kong and I'm in Macau as well.
And what shoe brand are you with?
My own brand. I got my own brand. I'm still doing my own stuff.
Okay, because I would like to propose a Reebok versus or Shaq brand versus your brand with tournament 3-4 parts of China.
Easy.
You let me know.
Yo, Shaq, and I gotta give you yours too, man, because what you've done for not only basketball but for the culture, man. You know, you change people's lives, man, and it's a blessing. I know your mom and my mom, they used to go to the mothers convention all the time, and they used to always kick it. So, you know, whenever I see you, I see your mom. So it's all love, just so you know that.
I appreciate that, my brother. Love you.
Shaq, you bring up a great point though about the Hall of Fame because it is the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. And we see this all the time with guys international. Well, then we need to take in what Starbury has done because he went over there and became one of the greatest players in the history of the country. That should absolutely play a role in a possible Hall of Fame bid.
Yeah, I had to change my perspective because and Stephon understands what I'm about to say. When you're a great player, you always get caught up in what they say. And for some reason, they base us on championships. So, winning 3 in a row and winning 4, now that I'm part of the club, I actually started thinking like them. So I was like, oh, if you ain't got no ring, you can't be Hall of Fame. But Adam, I think it was you that broke it down and said it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. Because again, I remember, this is no disrespect, the great Bill Walton, rest in peace. He don't really have great legendary numbers. However, if you go back to what he's done in high school and college as well as the pros, his professional numbers don't matter. So when you say a guy like Bill Walton is a Hall of Famer, I understand that. And then Isaiah said it the best. There's 2 Hall of Fame. There's a Hall of Fame for people like us. That was a bad mofo, shut your mouth, and then there's a basketball Hall of Fame. So Stephon Starbury should definitely be in the Hall of Fame because he was a bad mofo, shut your mouth. No, he don't have any championships. A lot of guys don't have championships, but he's definitely a Hall of Famer, and I hope you get in. And if they ever ask me, you definitely get in. Because one, I'm gonna keep it real. There's a lot of people in there that if they're in, Stephon has to get in. Period. There ain't nothing to talk
Love,
about.
big fella, love. Appreciate it.
Hey man, these motherfuckers is hard. I don't care
You
what
on
nobody
those?
say. I ain't
You
gonna
on
lie.
those? Trust, I got
Yes.
some new ones for you too. I'm
Send me
gonna give
some.
you the new joints too. We got ski goggles, all that
Dog, send them to me,
for
dog.
sure.
Actually, you know what? Actually, no, I don't want you to send them to her. I'm gonna order them. Tell people how they can get these right now.
Camelo.com. CHAMELO. Camelo.com, baby.
And are they on
Nah, not
Amazon
yet.
yet?
Soon.
Come
They
on, man.
coming. They
Come
coming.
on, man.
They coming for sure. They
Ooh.
coming.
All right, my G.
All right, my
Now
brother.
I want more than anything is I want to find a way to go with Shaq to Beijing and to walk around the streets with Stephon Marbury.
Oh
I
my
feel like that
God.
would be the craziest thing to watch.
That's out of control. That's not. They'll be mad at us if we did that. The police would be mad at us if we did that.
I owe you an apology, Steph. I'm gonna tell you why. You know how like when you see stuff on the gram, so like when you kept doing that and they kept changing, I would make this face. But now that I got them, I
It's all good.
apologize. You
They
motherfuckers
rocking.
rocking.
Wait till you start listening to
I've
your
never seen
music.
Shaq.
Trust me, you're gonna be in the whip. You're gonna be in the whip, bro. You're gonna be like, nah, I'm playing these right through here. All you gotta do is Bluetooth them.
I've never seen Shaq more excited
You're gonna
about a
come out
toy.
music shield. As soon as you hit those, you're gonna be speaking right through it. Easy. They not like us. They not like us.
But Stephon Marbury, it is like 3:30 in the morning where you are. Thank you for your time.
All
Thank you for
good,
your
man.
grace.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you
me
for your
on, man.
words.
Appreciate it.
And this will not be the last time because there will be something with the big podcast, Shaq and China. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I will speak it into existence. We are going to go eventually, and I cannot wait for it to happen. It's going to be amazing.
Yes, it is. Thank you, my brother. Love you. Thanks for staying up.
Stay up. Peace.
That was our conversation with the one, the only Stephon Marbury. Shaq, I'm curious, man. I showed this picture to Steph while you were racing to the interview. This picture of Steph. Did you ever want to have that middle part haircut like Larry Johnson or Stephon Marbury? Was that ever a New York thing that you wanted to get in on?
I always had the part on the side because I always thought I was Billy D. Williams. See, a lot of y'all think I'm dark skinned, but I'm actually caramel.
Caramel.
Yes. I'm actually caramel.
Interesting. How does that work for you when you tell people you're caramel?
It works very well for the ladies because, you know, ladies like light-skinned brothers. Us light-skinned,
what's that about?
Us light-skinned brothers, we've been winning for a while. El DeBarge, Shaq, I'll be sure.
Us light-skinned brothers.
Yes.
What would you classify me as?
You would be Spanish.
Spanish.
Yes, Spanish. Adam, you'd be Adam Gonzalez.
Gonzalez.
Yeah, no, Gonzalez. C-O-N.
Oh, Gonzalez.
Yeah, Gonzalez. Chapstick, my lips white.
Let's see. I can't. You're far enough away from the camera where I can't tell. I feel like that's always one of your biggest concerns is, are my lips chapped or am I ashy?
Yeah, I can't be having no, because you know why? Because Shane don't give it. Shane just edit and put it out. My lips be looking, my lips be all lip. Yeah, I want to talk about and Playmaker.
That is still one of the funniest moments of NBA on TNT history is when Kevin Hart was on set during the All-Star game and he looked at Kenny and said, Kenny's lips are so dry, if he smiled, his lips going to bleed. And you guys lost it. Oh.
No, but you want to know what made it funny? Because Kenny started doing that. Man.
Yeah, he started licking his lips.
Man.
You know the jokes are good when it causes you to lick your lips because you're afraid. But again, huge thanks to Stephon Marbury. He has these glasses that change color that Shaq is an enormous fan of. For Shaquille O'Neal, for Stephon Marbury, I am Lefko, the Lefkoe, man. And we will holla, holla, holla at you later. See you next time.
Lefkoe, man.
Man.
Yeah.
See, a lot of y'all think I'm dark skinned, but I'm actually caramel.